Hi, you guys. Oh my goodness. The excitement runneth over. Yes. How are you guys doing out there? I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's taking care of their mental health, saying your prayers, staying in your own lane, and as always, keeping God first. You know, that's our motto over here at Whiffs on Wheels. Stay focused, stay prayed up, stay in your own lane, and above all, keep God first. So we're excited. Happy Black History Month. Yes, snap it up, snap it up, snap it up. Happy Black History Month, right? This is a time to intentionally celebrate, pay homage to those individuals, both past and present, that have contributed to the upbuilding and the enrichment of this country, the United States, right? This is a time to be intentional. And, I see a lot of stuff on the internet, as we all do. I see a lot of stuff on the internet about, oh, it shouldn't just be 1 month. Okay, I agree with that. However, this is the month that we intentionally, right? It's kind of like Mother's Day. Not comparing Black History Month to Mother's Day, but I'm using Mother's Day to say, why are we just doing this on one day? Us mamas, us mothers, we should be celebrated every day. But we use Mother's Day to intentionally say, you're the one, right? So for me, with Black History Month, of course, we celebrate Black history 24/7, right? Because it is definitely an occasion, an occurrence to be celebrated, right? There's been so many contributions that our ancestors have made, my ancestors have made, your ancestors have made to the just enrichment of the United States. So we definitely like to pay homage. And in my culture, the Black culture, February has been deemed Black History Month. We're excited to be Black business owners, right? That's an accomplishment, because when I think about all of the contributions my ancestors have contributed to me being able to even be a business owner, it's like, okay, I feel good that I'm able to be a part of something so much bigger, that had it not been for their sacrifices, their contributions, their just giving their everything, I wouldn't even be where I'm at now to be able to be a black owned business owner. So definitely paying homage. This is Black History Month. We are excited. I have an explosive collection called the Strength, Courage, and Wisdom collection. Okay. So what happens is every year, sometime around in January, and a lot of times in December, just depending on the energy and where everything's at, our tiny little team, we kind of put our heads together and we're like, okay, who are we paying homage to this year, right? And in past years, we've used like one person, or we've done a collection of people. And this year, I really wanted to hone in on the strength, courage, and wisdom. The inspiration behind that is India Arie. Okay, so India Arie is one of my favorite R&B, neo soul, however you want to categorize her. She's one of my favorite artists, and she has a song called Strength, Courage, and Wisdom. And it's a really profound song, and it really helps you to grasp that understanding of, I should be growing in strength, courage, and wisdom as I navigate and traverse this life, right? We shouldn't stay stagnant. We should be maturing in our strength, our courage, and our wisdom, right? And so that song is just amazing. I encourage everyone to go and check it out. India Arie, Strength, Courage, and Wisdom. So I said, I want to do the Strength, Courage, and Wisdom collection. I didn't really know who I wanted to pay homage to, but I was like, I know I want to incorporate individuals that have shown strength, courage, and wisdom in one way or the other, and have been influential in, my life. So through their various acts of service, things they've done, things they've said. So in addition to that, I'm really big on quotes. You guys know that I have a ton of quote books. I got into quotes back in 2003. I was working my first job. I was in high school as a senior, and I was working my first job. And in working my first job, there was a book there called Tranquility. And I'm like, what is tranquility? I've never even heard that word a day in my life. And of course, in hindsight, I know now it means peace. And it was a thick little book, a little mini book just filled with quotes on tranquility. And I took it home and I really embraced it. And from there on, I've been like a quote fanatic. So I'm always on Pinterest looking at quotes. Whenever I go to a bookstore, I'm like, where's the quote books? I love things that can pour into me and that I can internalize and help me to be a better version of me, right? So along with our collection, I knew I wanted to take a quote from each of these individuals that I was going to be paying homage to. Let's get into our Black History Month Strength, Courage, and Wisdom collection. You ready? Let's go. All right. So we are kicking off our Black History collection, the Strength, Courage, Wisdom collection with Rosa Parks, right? Rosa Parks is definitely an individual that we all know her story, right? She said no. She said, no, I'm not getting up. I'm staying in my seat. And thank God that she did, right? So when I was researching Rosa, I was like, let me find a quote that resonates with me. I want to pay homage to this woman who took a stand for herself and said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not getting up. And so the quote that I was, and there's so many, but this is the one that resonated with me. Okay. It says, stand for something or you will fail. Stand for something or you will fall for anything. Today's mighty oak is yesterday's nut and held its ground. Again, stand for something or you will fall for anything. Today's mighty oak is yesterday's nut that held its ground. Can we give a snap for that? Because we're going to talk about it. So this is the candle. It says Strength, Courage, and Wisdom. It has the year, which is 2024. We are a vegan brand. We always have our little vegan emblem there. And then this is her quote. This is her picture. And then it tells you what's in it. So I should probably tell you what's in it so that you know how amazing it smells. It's red berry, black tea, and magnolia. And everything in this collection, there's a 4-piece collection, and everything in it has a deep, woodsy, earthy tone. Okay. And I was intentional about that. Deep rooted in earthy, woodsy tones. Okay. So this smells amazing. It's definitely a cozy. They're all cozy. They're all warm. They all smell amazing in their own right. And this one again is red berry, black tea, and magnolia. It smells amazing. So I do want to get into the quote. That Miss Rosa here said, which is stand for something or you will fall for anything. Let's get into that. It was just self-explanatory. Stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. And she was the prime example of that when she was on that bus and said, I'm not getting up. Okay. She was over it. She was tired of it. And she said, I'm not getting up. And I love that because in life, there are going to be things that we are going to have to, right? Choose your battles. We always say that, right? It's very cliche. Choose your battles. There are things that are not worth fighting for. There are things that you can let literally roll off your back and be like, you know what? Charge it to the game. It is what it is. You live, you learn, and you move on. There are those things. But then there are things in life where you say, absolutely not. And if you've been following Whips on Wheels for any amount of time, you know that Tina Renee, a lot I do let roll off my entrepreneurial back. But there are some things that I say absolutely not to. And I've made videos about it. So that's what Miss Rosa was saying. And then the rest of the quote says, today's mighty oak is yesterday's nut that held its ground. Snap it up, snap it up. So basically what Miss Rosa Parks is saying here is that little nut that you put in the ground grows up to be this mighty oak tree, right? But had it not persevered and withstood the test of time, whatever weathers came around, whatever trampling of the ground was brought about, it held its ground, and it's going to be tomorrow's mighty oak tree. So when you don't compromise on the things that should not be compromised on, right? Because like I said, we pick our battles. there's some things you just don't compromise on. And when you hold your ground and you let your yes be yes and you let your no be no, that is going to breed tomorrow's result. Be whatever it may. So Miss Rosa is in the Strength, Wisdom, and Courage collection. These candles you can purchase in singles, so or you can purchase in a collection. So Rosa Parks. All right, the next individual that we are paying homage to in our Strength, Courage, Wisdom collection is Nelson Mandela. Okay, there's a movie. It's amazing. I encourage you all. I'm not going to even give any spoiler alerts on his story. He went through so much and he came out on the other side. And that can be said of so many of our ancestors, right? They went through a lot, and they somehow persevered and they somehow came out on the other side, which is just profound, right? That in and within itself is very inspirational for me as a small business owner, because although I will never compare, the things I go through to the things that a lot of my ancestors have gone through, I do know what adversary looks like. I do know what trials look like. I do know what hard times looks like as a small business owner. But these individuals are people that we can look at their stories, look at their journey and say, if they made it out on the other side, certainly I can too. So let's get into Nelson Mandela's quote. I chose to put on here because remember, these individuals have said so much in their lifetimes. But as I was researching them to see who I was going to pay homage to and what exactly I was going to say, I found quotes that they said that resonated deep within me, within my spirit, within my being. So here's Nelson Mandela. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others. Again, what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others. And this is the candle. This is the quote. And I'm going to give you the notes. It has sweet tobacco, vetiver, and amber. And vetiver is one of those not so popular essential oil fragrances that we smell. But again, deep, woodsy. You've got that sweet tobacco in there. So it's not that bitter pipewood tobacco, which is also good. But this is that sweet. It has a little touch of caramel. And then amber, which is like a perfume, almost like type cologne perfume type deal. And when you mix that combo together, ooh, it's like a very mature fragrance. Okay. Very deep, very woodsy, very mature. But let's get into Nelson Mandela's quote. So, what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is the difference that we have made to the lives of others. So, we're living, right? Life is to be lived. We are living. But what Nelson is saying is that's not all that matters. It's not the mere fact that we have lived. It's what impact have you made during your lifetime, right? We live in a world now where we all post everything on social media. And if you're not one of the people posting, you're certainly one of the people looking at the post. So we're all kind of in our phones, on our tablets, in some sort of electronic device, looking or sharing, right? And as a small business owner, I'm always sharing information. I mean, I'm putting information out there about my candles, about my business, as well as many others. And what Nelson is saying here is, it's not the mere fact that you're living. What contributions are you making? What are you doing in this life? Are you giving back? Are you contributing to society? Are you someone that when you pass on from this life, others are going to be able to list your resume of contributions that you have made into the lives of others? I like to call them deposits. Are you depositing into the life of other? That can come in the form of encouragement. That can come in the form of philanthropy. A lot of people give money. A lot of people give their time. A lot of people give their resources. What are you contributing? Are you just living life? Are you just on the internet showing, look at me, I got all the things? Are you teaching other people how to get all the things? What contributions are you making? It's not enough to just live. And, as a child of God, because, we got to bring God into this thing like we always do. Over here with Sun Wheels. As a child of God, I have been called to pour into the lives of others. I definitely love a blessing, but at some point I got to become the blessing, right? At some point I've got to be the blessing. And I've been on both ends of it, where I was getting blessed and I've been the blessing. And that's what life is all about. I always tell the people closest to me, don't go through life with a catcher's mitt. Be ready to throw the ball back sometimes. So Nelson Mandela hit the nail on the head when he said, it's more to life than just living. What contributions, what deposits are you making along the way? And that's something we should be asking ourselves daily. How am I pouring into others? This morning I got up and I looked at my prayer list of people from church that had asked for prayer. And I said, you know what? I'm going to send a text to every last one of them and specifically ask them about their prayer requests that they made. Some people had made prayer requests about health concerns. Some people had made prayer requests about family and friends. And, I was very intentional about sending a text. Good morning. You mentioned that, your aunt is not doing well. How is she feeling now? And, it's just little deposits like that matter. Like, how many times have you been having a day, right? And somebody did the smallest thing, like held a door open, gave you a compliment, or, sent you a text that was like, you care, and you needed that. It wasn't that people didn't care. You just needed that validation in that moment. So let's make sure that we're going through life, not with just a catcher's mitt on, but being ready to throw that ball back, because that is what it is about. And Nelson Mandela definitely nailed it on the head. So he is also in the collection. Again, you can get these in a single or in the collection as a whole. So let's move into our next candle. All right, you guys, it's the one and only Maya Angelou. Yes, honey. She was probably one of the individuals when I was thinking, who am I going to pay homage to, that I did not have, I knew she was going to be in it. I was like, I got to get Miss Maya Angelou, because, wow, a poet, and so much more. I got introduced to Maya Angelou when I first saw the movie Poetic Justice with Tupac and Janet Jackson. I heard her poems and I was like, ugh, phenomenal woman, right? I think we all can resonate, both men and women alike. I know she's saying phenomenal woman, but you can take out the woman and put man, phenomenal, just phenomenal woman. It really helps you to dig within and see that you are that woman. You are that man. You are that person. You are phenomenal. And in a society where there's a lot of things that try to convince you that you're not phenomenal, you do need to hear that. And even though, these individuals are long gone, their messages still hold true. So let's see what's in the Maya Angelou candle. So she has apricot, plum, jasmine, and oak. So apricot, plum, jasmine, and oak. So she's got just a little touch of that sweetness, but she's also got those soft florals and that deep oak woodsy tone that I told you about. So again, I said, all of these that are in the Strength, Wisdom, and Courage collection do possess that deep, woodsy, cozy, earthy tone intentionally, right? Because we are deep rooted. We are going deep for Black History Month. And the quote that I chose for Maya, she had so many, right? Maya was like, but this is the one that resonated within me. And I'll just read it to you. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, you do better. Snap on that. Because, wow, right? How true is that? How true is that quote? Do the best you can until you know better. And when you know better, you do better. And I cannot tell you how many times in my lifetime that I've beaten myself up over mistakes that I've made. I like to say we all have a chapter we don't read out loud, because we do. And that's why I think it's so interesting when people like to point fingers and judge and point out other people's flaws, because you yourself have flaws. You yourself have chapters that if we read them out loud, you probably run out of the room screaming because you don't want anybody to know about that chapter. We all have that. We all have our less than favorable moments in life, as I like to call them, where we didn't make the best choices. For whatever reason, we didn't make the best choices. But as Miss Maya is telling us here, do the best you can until you know better. And when you know better, you do better. So the goal is to not stay stuck and stagnant in those toxic traits, patterns, activities that we were involved in, right? At one point, we all made poor choices. But if you have grown from that, if you have matured from that, and you are no longer participating in those things, those activities, then that's a win. Because now you're doing better because you know to do better. Oh, how dreadful it is when you know to do better. You've learned to do better, yet you continue to choose not to. Oh, what a shame. How dreadful. How dreadful when people say, I know it's wrong, but I'm going to continue to do it. That's when it becomes problematic. And so what Miss Angelo is saying to us is, you do the best you can. You're going to make your mistakes. We all have a chapter we don't like to read out loud. Some of us have 3 and 4. Wink, wink. But the goal of it all is to learn to do better, to mature, to elevate in that strength, courage, and wisdom. And then once you have acquired those things, you move on in your new chapter with the knowledge that you now have, that you've gained from those poor choices in your previous chapters, right? So it goes without saying, Maya Angelou, she's amazing. If you've not read any of her poems, I encourage it. If you've not seen any of her interviews, I encourage it. She's very influential. She's very inspirational. And she definitely had to be a part of our Black History Strength, Courage, and Wisdom collection. Now let's get into our last candle in the collection. All right. This is probably one of our most controversial individuals that I chose to pay homage to when we were all sitting around kind of figuring out who do we want to pay homage to. Malcolm X, right? Malcolm X. He's quite controversial, and really all of them can be deemed controversial, but I would say he would be probably the most controversial. Now, although I do not share in the Islamic belief, I do not. I do believe that Malcolm X had a lot of good things to say, and he contributed a lot of wisdom to individuals that followed him, right? So again, I do not share in the Islamic belief. However, religious belief, I should say. However, he was an intellectual. He was someone that was deeply rooted in strength, courage, and wisdom. And he had a lot of important things to say. And he just made a really big impact on the lives of those that did listen to his message. So, I was thinking, oh my goodness, is it going to be him? And I had a couple of other candidates in mind, but I drilled it down to Malcolm X. And I'm going to go ahead and read the quote for him that I chose. Again, he had so many good ones, but this is the one that resonated within me, within my being, right? Don't be in a hurry to Let's get the words right. Don't be in a hurry to condemn because he doesn't do what you do or think as you think or as fast. There was a time when you didn't know what you know today. Again, don't be in a hurry to condemn because he doesn't do what you do or think as you think or as fast. There was a time when you didn't know what you know today. Snap, 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 right? And let me tell you what's in this one. Sweet pine, vanilla, rose, and musk. Sweet pine, vanilla, rose, and musk. So again, you're going to get that deep, sweet, woodsy, but different types of sweets, different types of woodsies, right? So they all have their own little aroma. that's giving you that earthy, sweet, with just a little pop of sweet, but primarily deep, earthy tones, right? So this is yet another one. So let's get into his quote, right? So with Malcolm, he's saying, don't be so quick to condemn someone because they don't know what you know on the level that you know it, because there was once a time when you yourself didn't know what you know now. And I think that's a real humbling quote. And I don't think enough of us internalize that logic, right? Because that's what it is. It's logic. And I don't think enough of us internalize it, right? We are quick to say, well, they should have knew better, or you didn't know that. And it's like, well, there was a time when you didn't either. Have some grace, have some mercy. We all learn at different levels. We all grow at different pace. And I think if we understand and internalize what Malcolm X was saying in this quote, we will not be so quick to be judgmental of others, right? We will have a grace with them. We will have patience with them. We will have this understanding that we all grow at different rates. And just because your intellectual wherewithal isn't where mine is, or mine isn't where your is, it doesn't give you a right to look down on me or me on you, right? We got to have grace with each other. We got to have mercy, because we know that's what God has with us, right? We are all just filthy rags, right? In his eyesight, but he's long suffering. He has grace. He has mercy. And those are the attributes that we should be pouring onto others, right? So Malcolm, again, hit the nail on the head, just like all the rest of them. So I'm going to bring them over. We have Nelson, we have Rosa, we have Malcolm, and we have Maya Angelou. And this is our Black History Strength, Courage, and Wisdom collection. And I am so excited to present this collection to you. And, you know, I think we can all resonate with, if not one or more, all of what these very intellectual, influential, just light beings contributed to society. They had a lot of good things to say. So Strength, Courage, and Wisdom collection available now on our website exclusively. I know a lot of you guys asked, well, when are you going to be at the markets? We're going to start our markets back up in the spring. Yes, we're going to start with a new roster of markets back up in the spring. This collection, as all our collections, are only exclusively available on our website, www.whiffsonwheels.com. You didn't hear it? That's okay. I'll say it again. www.whiffsonwheels.com. This is our Black History collection. Here they are. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about them as much as I enjoyed telling you about them. And again, visit us on our website, www.whiffsonwheels.com, and snag one or all. Happy Black History Month. May you grow in strength. May you grow in wisdom, and may you grow in courage. Until next time, you guys take care. Stay in your own lane, say your prayers, and keep God first. The Candle-thon continues.